This effort is even more incomprehensible considering it comes after Trump and congressional Republicans already created an $85 billion slush fund for ICE during the last budget reconciliation process. In my district, ICE has used the money to terrorize Minnesotans, particularly our Black and Brown communities, through Operation Metro Surge. We watched in horror as ICE agents murdered our neighbors, Renee Good and Alex Brady, in broad daylight. We witnessed our neighbors being snatched off the street, pulled from their homes and cars without a warrant. We saw dozens of children ripped away from their families, friends, and schools, shipped to detention centers out of state. Our communities are still recovering from that devastation caused by the federal occupation and the blatant trampling of the rights we as Americans hold dear. We cannot send this rogue and unaccountable agency another cent.
All right, folks, buckle up. We just watched a masterclass in common sense delivered straight from the heart of Texas, and let me tell you, it was a breath of fresh air. I mean, did you hear what we just heard? We've got Representative Ilhan Omar again up there tearing down the very people putting their lives on the line to keep us safe. Ilhan Omar. She called ICE a rogue and unaccountable agency. Let that sink in. This isn't just politics anymore, guys. This is about what kind of country we want to live in. Do we want a country where our law enforcement is vilified? Or do we want a country where the rule of law actually means something? Judd Arrington just took the floor and didn't just speak truth to power. He brought the whole house down. He laid out the absolute chaos we are seeing at the southern border. And it's about time someone had the guts to say it loud and clear. We are going to dive deep into this. This isn't just another political speech. This is a wake-up call. If you care about the safety of your community, if you care about the future of this nation, you need to hear every single word this man has to say. So grab a drink, get comfortable, because we are about to break down one of the most important speeches you'll see this year. Let's get back to the video.
You'll hear my colleagues no doubt say, if we could just agree on some common sense reforms, we would have opened up the Department of Homeland Security. We would have been glad to work with you. But let's think about these quote unquote common sense reforms. To require this administration to get a judicial warrant to expel criminal aliens from our country. There is not a Democrat or Republican former commander-in-chief that would ever find that acceptable. Because in fact, these criminal aliens have had their day in immigration court, and they have their orders to be expelled because they are not here with cause. They are here with threat to my family and to my community and to my great state of Texas and to this beloved country of ours, and it's unacceptable. But they would effectively stop all deportations. But we had an election after 4 years of lawlessness and chaos at the southern border, crime, criminals, and all kinds of criminal elements and drugs that killed more people than the entire Vietnam War in 1 year. And this president was elected to restore law and order, rule of law in this great civil society of ours. It's been an embarrassment for those 4 years, and he's done it, and that's what the people sent us here to do. That's the mandate they gave us, along with unified Republican leadership. But there's been one wall of obstruction after another for this president and this administration. And that's one example of their ridiculous, absurd, unserious demands. The other one is, and I heard this at the Rules Committee, my friend, and I couldn't believe my ears. They called our law enforcement agents who risked their lives to keep us safe. Their families pray and wait for their mom or dad to come home, wondering if something goes wrong and the bad guys win that day and they never see their family member again. And yet my Democrat colleague repeatedly referred to our honorable ICE and CBP agents as masked thugs. when evil is called good and good is called evil. You remember that quote? You remember that admonition? These are the days. Mr. Speaker, we've given 16 chances and all opportunities to vote to turn this government of the people back on and support our ICE and CBP agents, to protect our ports by funding our guardsmen, to protect the CISA agents, to protect our critical infrastructure while cyber attacks are on the rise, and to resource our FEMA agency to be ready to respond to our citizens in a natural disaster. 16 times they said no. No. And here we are. Demasking our agents, calling them masked thugs. 8,000% increase, Mr. Speaker, in death threats to these gentlemen and gentle lady who wear the badge, who wear the uniform, who protect the thin blue line. 1,300% increase in assaults. 3,200% increase in vehicular assaults. We know who they are. We have made great effort to identify each agent so they would be held accountable if they did anything illegal or inappropriate. But we have cartel members who have bounties of tens of thousands of dollars on their heads. And we have masked, leftist, radical, violent folks who are assaulting them in the streets while they're trying to do their dangerous job. You want to know why we're here, Mr. Speaker? You want to know why we're here, American people?
Wow. Just wow. Okay, let's unpack this because there is so much to get into. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Ilhan Omar. It is absolutely infuriating. And I mean that Ilhan Omar from the bottom of my heart. To hear a sitting member of Congress stand up and attack the brave men and women of ICE like that. She's calling the masked thugs. Are you kidding me? These agents are dealing with cartels, human traffickers, and some of the most dangerous criminals on the planet. And she has the audacity to stand there, in her comfortable seat in Washington, and call them thugs. It's despicable. When she talks about this $85 billion slush fund, She's completely missing the point. That money is for protecting our borders, for stopping the flow of fentanyl that is poisoning our communities, and for keeping Americans safe. But instead of supporting that, she's out here pushing a narrative that only helps the bad guys. It's like she's living in an alternate reality where the cartels are the victims, and our law enforcement are the villains. Now, let's talk about Jod Arrington-Hicors. This man $1 a reality check that was desperately needed. Did you hear the stats he dropped? More Americans killed by fentanyl in 1 year than in the entire Vietnam War. Think about that for a second. We are losing a generation to this poison, and it's pouring over a wide open border. Arrington hit the nail on the head. This isn't just a policy failure. This is a dereliction of duty by the current administration. He brought up the common sense reforms that Democrats keep talking about. And what do those reforms look like? Requiring a judicial warrant to expel a criminal alien. That is insanity. If someone is in this country illegally and commits a crime, they need to be deported immediately. No questions asked. But the Democrats, led by people like Omar, want to tie our hands behind our backs while Ilhan Omar the cartels have a field day. Arrington was absolutely right to point out the hypocrisy. We had an election to restore the rule of law, and instead we've got 4 years of chaos. The assaults numbers on our agents are 1,300%. Increase vehicular assaults up 200%. That is terrifying. These agents are getting attacked every single day, and the left is more concerned about the rights of the people attacking them. And let's not forget what he said about the cartels, putting bounties on our agents' heads. This isn't some game. This is real life. Our agents are facing literal war zones, and some politicians are treating them like the enemy. Arrington laid it all out. This is about protecting our country. It's about securing our ports, protecting our infrastructure from cyber attacks, and making sure FEMA can actually respond to disasters. But every step of the way, the Democrats have voted no. 16 times. 16 times they've refused to support our agents and secure watching. And I'll see you in the next.